Hello everybody, Kite562 here, and I have my final volume review of Beastars Volume 11. Now, as these reviews go on, I just got something to say. This is the final volume of the Murder Solution arc. And like I've said in my last video, I've read up to Volume 12, so this series is going to go on a little bit of a hiatus until at least up to Volume 18 releases. Now, don't freak out, I'm not quitting this series, so please just listen to what I have to say and let me share my thoughts with you on Volume 11 of Beastars. Now, as always, these reviews will have some spoilers, but not too much to ruin the experience for new readers. So anyway, Beastars is written and illustrated by Paru Itagaki and published by Viz Media. So please, go out and read it and support the official release. It's a really great manga, so anyway, again, support the official release. So if you can, this is Kai562. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Now, the main brunt of this volume that's still fresh in my mind is mainly the setup to the final battle between Legoshi and Riz. Like, all the other stuff is important too, like Louis leaving the Shishigumi, but I'm not going to go into detail of like what happens. Just, you're going to have to go read the manga or watch the anime to find out, but these reviews are of my own format. So anyway, my first point is that Legoshi and Riz's ferocious battle finally begins. Like, as this battle begins, it's just a bloodbath, and it's just absolutely one-sided for Legoshi. Like, during the point where both Riz and Legoshi are at their limits, it's just that they end up both just laying on the ground, just staring up at the sky, and just talking to one another, so exposing their bellies as a sign of submission in this universe, which I thought was pretty interesting. So carnivores would show their bellies to other carnivores as a sign of vulnerability to open up to one another. So yeah, and what's funny, well, not really funny, but before this whole battle, Riz lies to Legoshi that he ate Pina full. But no, Pina's somewhere hidden near the bridge area, like a slum sewer entrance type of place. Like, I don't remember the exact detail of the place, but, I thought it was interesting because Legoshi could figure out what Pina's scent was, that, female flower scent of his that Pina has. Like perfume almost, so there's that. And it was just an absolutely memorable fight build up and everything. It's just, everything was just absolutely phenomenal and well illustrated, well written. Just, I'll say this outright, this volume went by really quickly for me as a read. Like, it didn't feel as an hour of a reread. It felt more like 45 minutes to me. But, the payoff was great. So anyway, as round 2 begins to fight, Louis makes his way to Legoshi and Riz's battleground. Like, in front of the back alley market entrance, like near a bridge area. So him and Legoshi end up having a heart-to-heart, and Louis makes up the decision to ask Legoshi to eat his foot, to have a little bit more strength within this final moments of the fight. And I have to say, this fight alone really reminded me of the fight scene of Bruce Lee in the Game of Death, when he's in his iconic yellow jumpsuit type of outfit with the nunchucks and everything. And I just thought that was really interesting, because this fight really did remind me a lot of Bruce Lee, a DBZ, really big climactic fight, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. The way that the motions and actions were written in this volume alone were just absolutely great. So yeah, it was a really phenomenal and bloody fight. So anyway, on to round 2. Legoshi and Riz or Legoshi and Louis end up having a one-on-one talk to one another before Legoshi goes out there to finish off Riz. Not necessarily kill him, but just knock him back to his senses. So, yeah. So they end up having a heart-to-heart. Legoshi's having a hard time accepting this decision of Louis, and he's like, just do it, I don't want to see you killed. And Louis just ends up breaking down crying, and he tries to hold himself together. So, no, but the tears from poor Louis just keep on crying and crying, and he's just like, Legoshi, just free me from my curse. Because what Louis ends up offering is his foot with the number 4 tattoo on it when he was livestock in the back alley market when he was a small fawn. And Louis finally realizes that he's not weak in some ways. Well, he's weak in some ways physically, but like mentally, in my opinion, he's like very mentally strong in some points, and just all those details. It's a long story, but yeah, he ends up having an inner monologue with himself, saying that the little fawn in him is finally free and can be free out of his cage. And I thought that was a really beautifully illustrated panel, in my opinion. So, my next point. Legoshi wonders why he has a tattoo, or Legoshi wonders why Louis has a number 4 tattoo on his foot, and Legoshi's like, where did you get that from? But I want to talk about the moments before Legoshi actually committed the ultimate taboo in this universe, which is eating meat or committing predation. So, Legoshi ends up accepting Louis' foot, and Legoshi's going to be thankful that this is going to be his first and last meal of meat that he's ever going to eat, and Legoshi feels like this is some sort of mystical ritual of magic, and it's just absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and oh my goodness. So Legoshi ends up breaking Louis' foot and just eating it, and just really getting this Super Saiyan power-up that's just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, you see blood all over his muzzle, and just his fur looks like flames all over him. His abs are just absolutely shredded and ripped, and oh, it's just wonderfully detailed. So it's just, wow, mad props to Paru with these details. It's just absolutely great. So so in fact, during Legoshi's power-up state, he feels closer to Louis after consensually eating Louis' foot, which Louis alive, which Legoshi thought Riz thought he was dead, but no, Louis was alive. So thankfully, Legoshi was able to patch up Louis' injury with his sweaty shirt, at least, just, you know, in a budget way. I mean, what can you do in a crazy situation like this? So, it's just, this whole fight was just absolutely fantastic and phenomenal, and so, and after all this, Louis ends up the victor after committing this slight consensual predation. So Pina ends up calling the cops, and they end up wrangling everyone up, and after Louis gets ready to go to the hospital to take care of his foot. So, yeah. Louis also feels guilty for not noticing how lonely Riz was when he was in the drama club after the whole predation situation with Tim from Volume 1. So, Louis felt like he should have opened up more to Riz and just talked to him more. And maybe things could have turned out differently for both Tim, Riz, Louis, and whatever. And I just thought that was really sweet of Louis. And after all that, before all that, the cops hold Legoshi at gunpoint as he's trying to carry Louis from you know, passing out from blood loss, and poor Legoshi is just, his muzzle's still covered up with blood and everything of Louis' leg, and Louis just looking at him like, ugh, can you wipe the blood off your face? You're starting to look more like a criminal, where he licks the blood off of his face. It's just, that guy can't catch a break, and I just feel so bad for Legoshi, so, oh, man. Okay. So, after all that's said and done, the principal, Gon, of Cherryton Academy, tries to make Louis the next Beastar and try to make it set up to where he's the one who figured out it was Riz who was the killer, but in fact it was Legoshi who ended up kicking Riz's ass 2 ways from Sunday, and then he should have gotten the title, but Legoshi doesn't really want the attention or the title of Beastar, and he feels like Louis should be the Beastar. And I feel like, you know, this is really shady of Cherryton to just up and hand Louis the title of Beastar, in my opinion. But, like, you know, Louis shows Gon his synthetic leg, his fake leg, after it got eaten off by Legoshi, and the poor principal was in absolute shock and just asked Louis lightly, did it hurt? And Louis just like, yes, it did. I mean, what would you do in Louis' situation? Be like, no, yeah, just a flesh wound, nothing big, nah, I'll walk it off. So, but I'm just glad everyone's okay. So, yeah, Louis ends up, you know, with the synthetic leg. He ends up leaving the Shishigumi, ended up, you know, just rebuilding himself back into this broken and busted society of Beastars. I mean, you still see some underlying hints of discrimination within this society if you've read up to this point, so yeah, I just thought this was really interesting. You see like little subtle hints of like a little bit of everything within daily human lives, and I just love how it's oh so integrated within this story alone. So anyway, after that, Legoshi is taken into custody and is given a criminal record, but the people's testimony let Legoshi go on, like, you know, light charges, or lesser sentence, whatever you want to call it, but is still given a criminal record, even though that the predation was consensual between both Louis and Legoshi. I mean, Louis was the one who asked Legoshi to eat his foot because he didn't want to see Legoshi die right before his eyes. Like, Louis has come to the terms that he likes carnivores, and he doesn't want to see his carnivore friends get hurt or die, mangled, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I feel like that this whole act between Louis and Legoshi, it was just really beautiful, and it really tightened their bond as friends, and it makes them feel more like brothers, in my opinion. I mean, how would you feel in their situation as a reader? So, anyway, my last overall thoughts of this volume, it went by really quick, but it was absolutely gorgeous and phenomenal. Like, the main big focus for me was the whole fight between Riz and Legoshi, like how all the panels were just motion after motion after motion after punch after kick after scratch, blood spewing everywhere. It's just, it was the main highlight, the main treat of this volume for me. So apologies if I spoiled this for anyone, but then again, this is my review, so please go read the manga. Anyway, I give Beastars Volume 11 a solid 8.5 out of 10, and right now I have to say I give volumes 1 through 11 a 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, and I think at the end, like close to the end, Legoshi ends up talking to Haru and just flat out tells her that he's going to drop out of Cherryton. So we don't know where this story's going to take, but I cannot wait to review more. And again, I'm gonna give this series a hiatus for now, but I will start back up these reviews again once volume 18 releases. Now, I know that's huge and I know that's a long wait, but it'll be worth it. Quality over quantity with this channel when it comes to content. So I want these videos to be the best quality as they can be, and I don't want to like rush them out like crazy. Plus I get really busy outside of these reviews, but I really do enjoy making them. So anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more content from this channel. This is Kite562 signing out, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. Later.